Hey guys, what's happening? This is Sunil here, and this is video number 3 in a total of 6 video series covering the basic aspects to some of the advantages and even limitations of this VST plugin called Chords. It's a life-changing plugin, and it definitely is inspiration for the budding music composer and music producer on a Windows platform. So in the earlier video, we talked about the flexibility of putting 12 different chords of the same key scale on one octave and use it for inspiration and reference when we are making up music scores, which require us to maintain the same key scale. Now, in this tutorial, I'm going to go ahead and show about the customization of the existing chord presets we have and how we can modify and experiment with converting the existing chord presets into something more. For this tutorial, I'll be using a guitar-based VST as my musical roots and foundation lie in post-grunge, modern rock, new metal and alternate metal, and this weird chord alteration demo will definitely send you back, make you feel a little nostalgic and feel like you're listening to music which was back in the year 1998 to 2003. So I've loaded my VST. Please make sure to always route your output of your chords to the input of the respective VST. Alright, so that's done for now. So by nature I'm a rhythm guitarist and I love down-tuned riffs and chugs. So for any composition, a particular chord scale preset called Perfect Fifth. Now please read up on Perfect Fifth on YouTube or any other site. It's a part of music theory. Coming back, this particular chord scale called Perfect Fifth is very important for me. In many of my compositions I do. It gives a little more rock edge to it. I could also correlate Perfect Fifth in layman terms for guitarist. It's basically called the drop D tuning, that is D and A, the two strings chugged and strummed together, or in this case, drop C tuning because the first note is C and it'll be basically C G. C is my first note and Perfect Fifth would be G. Another easier way of remembering Perfect Fifth is basically whatever note you play on a guitar open, basically the open note of a string. When you hold that very same string on the 7th fret, it will become the open note's perfect fifth. So if on your guitar C is the open note, when you hold it on the 7th fret, it becomes G. So back to making that preset. I'll first bring the key notes here. I'll bring up a preset here called Major Fifth. It's basically called the Perfect Fifth, but here it's mentioned Major Fifth. Let's just click this and apply. Alright, two things that you can notice. One is there are empty notes here. Let's just fill them up. C sharp, D sharp, F sharp, G sharp, A sharp. That's one. And let's assign them as well the perfect fifth option. We do this by clicking the respective key, then going here and clicking fifth. Do the same. Same. Okay, that's almost done. One last thing is, while all of these have the fifth chord, perfect fifth, the last key, which is B, has diminished fifth. Let's just change that to fifth just for this example. So now we have this sorted here. Let's just hear how it sounds right now. As it is. This is the Perfect Fifth preset as it is. It's okay, it's alright, it's kind of there, but it feels a little more generic. I'm looking for something of that edgier vibe, that edgier sound that was predominantly there in Linkin Park's Hybrid Theory and even many songs of Breaking Benjamin, Trust Company, the late 90s work of a band like Smashing Pumpkins. They had that chord going as well for them. I'm going to slightly modify each of these chords, basically, one by one. The modification I'm doing, just for the heck's sake, I'm calling this modification the double fifth or the new tuning, NU tuning. and new being derived from one of my favorite rock and metal genres called nu metal. So when I said double fifths, I meant two perfect fifths at once. Before I go ahead and change it, I'm just gonna go and demo something. I'm gonna go ahead and play these things in a certain pattern, and then I'm gonna play the very same pattern but with the modification made. Alright? So I'm gonna play this pattern, keep in mind this pattern. Here we go. Alright, so that's how it sounds. Now I'm going to go ahead and modify the chords of whatever I just played, okay? As I mentioned earlier, this weird thing called the double fifth is nothing but a succession of two perfect fifths, one after the other. So on my first key, the first note is C, and the perfect fifth for it is G. Another way of remembering, for guitarists especially, is whatever is the first note, take the 7th fret from it. This is the open, 1st fret, 2nd fret, 3rd fret, 4th, 5th, 6th. The 7th fret becomes G. Alright, that's partly the solution. But now, to modify this, I'm going to take this as the open note and find the 7th fret from G. That is going to be 1st fret, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th. That's the 7th fret. So that makes this my weird tuning called a double fifth. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and do it for all of them. Alright, so in the meantime, you can take a little break. Alright, now that we are done with this, I'm gonna first go ahead and again make you listen to the earlier pattern without the modification, and here's how it sounds. Alright, now I'm gonna play the same pattern with this modification done, what I call the new tuning or the double fifth. Please note that there is an official tuning for two perfect fifths. I'm not sure, but since it resonates with me in terms of the nu metal thing and the double perfect fifth as equations, I use this. So there's a term for it. I don't know it yet. Maybe you can explore it. Alright, so I'm going to play that pattern, but now with the modification done. So here we go. Okay, wow. Well, I personally love the feel of this. It's everything I dreamed of actually playing with an electric guitar, some kick-ass amps, a kick-ass rig of amazing distortion pedals, pyro, screaming fans, stage. Oh well. I hope you guys liked it. And the objective was only to show you that despite whatever existing chord presets are there, you have the ability to modify those chords. You can experiment any which way possible to your convenience and preference and get something amazing out of it. So I'm going to try one more weird quirky thing with it. I'm going to first make every single key a key, and I'm just going to go ahead and put 2 to 3 chords. So as of now, I'm going to put perfect fifth, then perfect fifth. The premise of this is I'm going to show you one more trick or tip or hack if it could help. Now, as I mentioned, the double chord or the new tuning is basically finding the perfect fifth of the second note, or rather 7th fret, 7th semitone from the second note. So in this case, we're on C and the second note is G. Let's find the 7th fret. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th. So this becomes the double chord, right? Now if you can mug up this small little formula or little bit of a workaround, the 7th fret makes the double chord that I said. If you remove the 7th fret and put the 8th fret from the second note, this becomes a minor chord. Check it out. Okay, now since I have this chord with me, let me try something. It could be a song you guys know, I guess. I don't know if it works. Let's check it out. Okay, it's a very poor impression, but it reminded me of the song called Change in the House of Flies by the band Deftones. So that is a simple equation of taking the double chord, that is a perfect fifth, taking this instead of 7th fret, you take the 8th fret, which becomes your minor. And now, if you want the perfect fifth to become a major chord, it's as simple as taking this note and finding the 9th fret. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9th. This becomes the 9th fret. So let's hear how this sounds. 9th fret. So if that's a simple equation you can remember, that 7th fret from the second note or 7th semitone from the second note becomes your double chord. 8th fret or 8th semitone from your second note becomes a minor chord. And 9th fret or 9th semitone from your second note becomes a major chord. I have another weird idea. If that was Deftones, let's try something else with this. Let's bring this as 5th and 9th, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's bring this as 5th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So now we have 1, 2, and 3, which are on the modified perfect fifth as a major chord. Let's check out how it sounds. Okay, for those of you who don't know, it's basically, I guess, a decent enough rendition of the beginning of the song called My Way by Limp Bizkit. My Way, Limp Bizkit, Chocolate Starfish, Hot Dog Flavored Water, early 2000s, and the theme song for WWF WrestleMania. That is so nostalgic, the glory years, man, damn. So there you have it, the power to make a perfect fifth into a double chord, the weird new metal tuning, a minor chord, as well as a major chord. So for the next few seconds, I'm going to go ahead and put up a slide reference so that you can copy it and use it for reference in your future projects.
And here we go.
So here's the slide reference of a basic summary of how to achieve a major chord, a minor chord, and the new metal chord, and also I've put in a separate thing called a power chord. I think it could be helpful. It's only by slightly altering the perfect fifths preset, and especially keeping in mind the second note and not the first note. The same principle applies to each note in each key scale. So if you're in C and G is the second note, G is what your reference point is. If you're in C sharp, then G sharp will be your reference point for where the next note is placed. And the cycle goes on. So I hope this tutorial helped. We have 2 more amazing applications of chords in terms of music composition, which we'll cover in the next 2 to 3 videos. Till then, hang in there. I'll catch you soon. Psycho out.